Hey everyone, it's Alan at Cobblers Plus, and in today's video, we're working on a pair of Viberg boots. Let's get them broken down and see what we got going on these. So thank you for joining us again, and like you can tell, we got these Viberg boots that we're going to be resoling, and I know a lot of you are going to be saying, why is he getting them resoled? They're new or still have plenty of wear. Yes, he does have plenty of wear left in these, and he could do a sole protector, but everyone's got their own personal preference on what they want, so don't start dogging me for it or anything. This gentleman wants to have some Dainite soles put on these, so we're going to go ahead and start tearing these down so that we can see what's going on inside of them and put some Dainite soles on these guys. Alright everyone, so we've got a little bit of a thing to work with on here. First thing I'll let you guys know, I am going to do a cash or trash episode on that, so if you're wanting to check out a shorter video and not have to see all the details, definitely I'll leave a link in the description down below for that. But in this video, obviously we're doing a full recraft, and we're going to talk in more detail about this. So first things first, we'll start out, which is really nice. The heel bases, they actually use a leather stacked heel base on here, and they use these nice hefty nails and everything. They use 10 of these nails. Now most companies that we come across, when they're nailing through the top like these ones were, instead of nailing it from the inside, they usually use about on average 5 to 7 nails, but they use 10 nails, which is cool. And the other thing is, because these are 270-degree welds, here they nail down the back edge of the sole, and they used 11 nails on that, which is definitely also a good thing, because some companies use even less than half of that, so that's a plus. The top lift heels here, it's a 3-piece combination, it looks like. Usually I'm not a big fan of so many layers, but they're pretty alright and everything. They've got the nails going through there as well, to kind of hold it all together. They're not too bad for sure. We'll go ahead and toss these guys. Now we start getting to the nitty-gritty. This, I honestly thought for a Viberg they'd be using a cork filler or a leather, one or the other, especially for the price point. But that's ridiculous. For a Viberg, they're using foam, high density foam. which is ridiculous. Like, I did not expect that. Like, when I was taking apart that sole, my thought was like, I wonder if it's going to be a leather filler or are they going to use a cork. They used foam. Not cool. They got steel shanks in here. We're going to clean these guys up, but they used that gunky glue. I really hate this glue personally. It sucks just for me as a cobbler. It doesn't suck in general. It just sucks for me as a cobbler because, you know, sometimes the problem is if they're very worn out boots, this stuff has a chemical reaction over a period of time. It becomes very sticky. For you guys, if you own a pair, that may be bad in the long run because of that reaction. This glue here, right there, since it becomes really sticky and tacky and everything, you may end up having a clicking sound going on because that shank will slightly shift around in there since the glue is no longer actually solid. It's kind of like a gel finish almost after a little while. So that's not a great thing, but it's also a glue that's used to kind of secure that shank for a good while. It's just after a period of time when it's time to resole anyways.
Are they Louboutins also?
Okay, but a few other things here. Now there are a couple of things on these that I'm not 100% sure on, but I'll kind of leave it up to some of you Viberg experts out there. But right in here, those stitches, I can't tell if they tried to paint them or not, but it's hard for me to tell whether it was attempted to paint them. Here, let me try and show you on that piece right there. But you can see that it looks like almost as if they try to paint it. I don't know if this thing will focus well enough or not. Come on. But yeah, these stitches aren't quite white. I don't mind if they're dirty. I'm just wondering if they were, you know, if the company attempted to paint them or something. Now the thread that they used, it looks like a cotton almost, but then when I took a lighter to it, it melted. So that means they used a nylon thread, which is definitely good. Nylon has a tendency to hold up better against the environments. So see that? It melted instead. And so nylon definitely holds up better long term. Cotton is used for things like firefighters and welders because cotton doesn't melt, but otherwise cotton does have a tendency to disintegrate pretty badly. So that's already a good plus that they at least use that. I mean, I'm still baffled by this though. Here I'm just baffled by that. So let me go ahead and break down the other one, get this sanded out and cleared out and everything, get all that gunk out, put these guys back on and stuff, and we'll continue on. Alright everyone, so got everything, as you can tell, plucked all the stitches, it's cleaned up. I got this glued up right now for the shanks. Now the shanks, I did go ahead and sand off the all that nasty glue that they have, and as you can see, it's all roughed up. Actually, it's a good thing because see how it's black there? They put that paint on there. It looks cool. I mean, even though you guys don't see it, whoever owns these, but I rough these up all the time. It takes a little more time just so that the adhesive bonds a lot better to it, and there's less chance of the adhesive giving out, and then you end up having a squeaky boot. So I like taking that extra step just because long term it's a lot better for these things. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these shanks put in there, fill it in with cork actually instead of that horrible foam, and then these little heel counters here, I'm gonna put them back on. You saw me pull out the staples there. I'm gonna go ahead and carefully glue these a little bit here so that it's all glued down, and then I'm gonna run some tack nails so that it's held in place because they had staples before. We're gonna use tack nails with a wider head. So we'll see you back in a little bit. Alright everyone, so we got these all filled up with cork. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick this guy on here. And like I'd mentioned, I had put a little bit of glue on there so that it holds on nicely. And we're using these tack nails, if I can get them. They're always terrifying to grab out of the container because these tack nails, they're super sharp and everything like that there, and you always end up poking yourself on them and get like one or two sticking out of your finger, and it always hurts. But they've got a wide head, which is nice for sure to be able to have versus the staples. So they go down in there and they turn into a hook, clinch down. So I made sure to pull out the insoles there. That's one thing I'll kind of point out with these. As you saw when we were taking them apart, we had taken out the nails from the heel base from the outside, not from the inside. So that was one very intriguing thing for me, is because the heel bases were not nailed from the inside, which usually technically is a better thing to do, is having them nailed on the inside, but they did it from the outside, and at least they used a good amount of nails in there, which is definitely already a big plus. So, and I'm kind of just following the same holes and patterns where the staples were. Kind of spot like a few of them here and there. It was like a staple sticking out in certain areas and stuff, and so I'm just kind of following that same pattern. Oh, there it is. I guess we might go off the pattern just a little bit, give it a little extra reinforcement in some spots. Okay, and then we'll just add one more over here. That's an extra one that we're going to add. Kind of an odd spot now, because these are 270-degree welds, so that means the stitching stops like right here. They actually, it's wonky. They kind of overlapped it. I'll show you guys. So there's the heel, why am I forgetting? Heel rand. That's what it is, not heel counter, heel rand. But so the stitching starts over here, but see right where my finger is, stops right there. Look at how off that is. That's kind of funny. So they overlap the rand quite a bit here, and just a little bit right there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and sand this up one more time to make sure everything's all cleaned off, because we still got the old factory glues and stuff on here, and start gluing the midsoles. The midsoles I did cut out of a sheet. Let me go grab them real quick. I'd forgotten that I already placed them on the sander, but yeah, usually we have a lot of pre-cuts and everything, but the pre-cuts that our suppliers had gotten recently were too small for these boots, unfortunately. So we had a large sheet of the midsoling material in leather, so gone ahead and cut it out. So that's why it looks a little rough and everything, just because it comes out of a sheet. But we're going to use these guys here for the midsole, and then we'll match up the size of the Dainite. Actually, I have one matched up, so we're all set on that. So let's get that midsole on there. All right, everyone. So as you can tell, we got these all stitched up and everything. The customer always has an option, obviously, to do either a top stitch, which is what this is here. The stitches sit over top like they do at factories, usually on a Dainite or any other type of rubber sole. Or there's the channeled method where we pre-channel it, which you can check out in a lot of our other videos. A lot of the videos that I do with Dainite or Viberg midsoles, most of those have the channeled stitching method that we do. This, I think, is either one of a few or possibly even the only one where I only did a top stitch, and that's what it looks like there. Again, from the factories, they do the same thing, whether it's a $200 pair of boots or a $1,000 pair of boots or a couple of $1,000 from factories. They never channel it on rubber soles because it takes additional work and skill, and it's very hard to do if you're inexperienced. So that's something, oh shoot, messed up one of the nails. So that's something only a handful of cobblers across the US at least that can do. In other countries, I know there's a few cobblers that do phenomenal work too, as well, and they can. I'm just having no luck with these nails right now. So these nails I'm putting in are clinch nails. These are oval head ones, so I'll show you in a second. Most shoes and boots that I do, if they're a 270-degree welt like this, where it's not all the way around stitched, we use these here, which are the flat head nails. You can tell right there. And the ones I'm using right now are these oval ones. Oh, these are the short flat head. I usually use the longer ones. Let me show you real quick. Okay. This will at least give you guys an idea, but you can see right there. So there's the oval head, and this is the flat heads. So the flat heads work for leather. The oval heads are for your rubber soles, just because the way that they're designed, they're going to grip a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all nailed up. We're going to put 11 nails in here, just like they did at the factory, and get those heel bases going on those. So we'll see you back. All right, everyone. So we've got the heel bases on. I haven't nailed them quite yet there, but that's because first we need to make sure to get this taken care of, because we don't want that to happen. We want to make sure that heel base is leveled out properly with the heel and everything, because the Dainite heels are thicker usually than most standard top lifts. So we're going to go ahead and run this sander and sand it out at an angle so that everything is fitting flush and working out just right. And then finally we'll be able to nail the heel bases. Now, I know I've mentioned, I got my camera here in my hand, I've mentioned that a lot of heel bases, like on Allen Edmonds, I usually nail the Dainite heel directly through the heel base without nailing the heel bases on, because the nail heads get in the way. But you can see how well these holes here align, where they're out of the way of all the other holes on the Dainite heel itself. So it's going to work out perfectly, thankfully. So I'm going to go ahead and level out those heels real quick, and then we'll continue on. All right, everyone, so we've got everything leveled out here. So now it's not wobbly and everything like that. Everything's nice and flat on those. I'm actually trying to push down, so everything's doing good. So now we're gonna go ahead and nail on these heel bases. Get all those holes here filled in with some nails. We're gonna be using these, oops, just dropped one. These gripper nails. They're a little bit different than what the factory used. The factory, they use these smooth nails that unfortunately they're smooth, but ones we're going to use, they're going to hold up a lot better long term for sure. Now, one thing I did forget to mention on these heel bases also, it's a little hard to see, but this side is a little bit lower, the outer edge of the boot, than the inside here, and that's kind of a support feature, which is kind of nice. You actually see that on some Aldens. Allen Edmonds does that as well. So when we're adjusting the heel height for Dainite heels, it's definitely very important to keep that in mind, just because you want to make sure that everything's leveled out properly. Otherwise it's going to be it's not going to be aligning right. So just wanted to point that out. Also, for those of you who might be wondering, if you end up having your heel base shortened down a little bit to accommodate a Dainite heel, don't worry, you can always down the road, if you decide to change to a completely different heel style, either have the heel base completely replaced, or we can build it back up with leather to make sure that's leveled. That's the key thing that you have to keep in mind, though, when you're switching from one type of heel base to heel to another one that's thicker, like a Dainite. We have to make sure to readjust that. And so if you decide to switch back to a regular top lift or something, that heel base has to be readjusted again. So and it can bump up the price, obviously, because it's more material that we'll have to do and everything. And so just keep that in mind if you're switching from one heel type to another, and the heel base has to be adjusted, and then you decide to switch it back over. So wanted to make sure to point that out to some of you as well out there. All right, everyone, so gonna go ahead and nail all these down. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using a black sole, because the person who owns these requested the black sole in particular. We could have put on a brown one that would have matched a little bit better, but he wanted the contrast in the color. So if you're going to be asking in the comments why I used the black one, not the brown one, well, there's your answer. The owner of these boots wanted that color contrast. So just giving you a heads up. Anyways, we're using the same gripper nails that we nailed the heel base down with, same type, and we're just going to go ahead and punch them through here with an awl. Punch tool, I guess. And then we're going to let it sit and cure for a little bit, and then we can go ahead and sand it out and continue on. Alright, everyone, so I did a little bit of rough sanding always to get some of that extra heel off of there, but I was going to show you real quick. This is what's called a lip knife right here. See how it's curved and everything. There's a right-handed one and a left-handed one. I'm right-handed, obviously, so I'm going to be cleaning up the inside a little bit. This helps take out majority of everything in here, just so that it's a little easier to sand, because right on the inside of these heels there's always at least a little bit of rubber left behind, especially when you're trying to line everything up as perfectly as possible. So you can see those just the corners that I cut off on this one. Sometimes we have to cut off a little bit more, especially when we're using a standard top lift heel like this here. It's got a straight cut, and so that straight cut is quite a bit of material to try to sand, so we were able to cut it out. But thought I'd show everybody before I continued on with the sanding process, and so let's move on. Alright, everyone, so we've got everything finished out. Got the heel bases on. Let me adjust that. So got the heel bases on, the top lifts on, everything's trimmed out and re-edged on those guys there. So we're all done. Oh yeah, and I did glue the insides there. So obviously I'm going to do a cash or trash episode on it. If you've stayed till the very end, the recraft video is going to come up first, so I'm trying to figure that out between recraft and the cash or trash episodes. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, for those of you who are the true fans, if you watch to the very end of the recraft video, you've seen what's going on inside the boots. You'll see exactly what's going on, is why they're getting such ratings and everything. And then I'll let you guys know before the cash or trash episode, because I know some of the guys watching the cash or trash episode, they just want to watch the short video. I'll let you guys know that are watching the full video what my opinion is on these boots. I won't be able to give you a full rating because I haven't written it up quite yet. Check that out if you'd like to, if you want to see the actual numbers and everything on it. Overall, these boots are good, but my opinion, for the price point, I I wouldn't buy these, not for that price. If you find a pair at a decent price, like at least $200 or even less than that from the original retail price, then it's definitely worth it. But these things are going for $700+ a pair, and in my opinion, you guys saw that that cheap cushion that they put inside there instead of cork or leather. That dropped the price down significantly, and that's not the only reason. I mean, there's a few little things that I wasn't too excited about. As far as that stitching there, I showed you in the video that I didn't know if they were attempting to possibly color it, but that wasn't a really good thing. And the way they finish out their soles and their edging and everything, it's very rough. It's not very refined. I know it's supposed to be a rugged boot, but for that price point, I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, here you can see on the soles, there's like little edges. I think on the other one you could see it even better. Yeah, little edges here. See all that? Little tiny spots that just are sticking out all over the place. It's not refined, it's not fine-tuned. Again, for maybe a $450 at most $500 pair of boots, it's worth it. But at $700+ a pair, in my opinion, not a pair worth spending that kind of money. I know I'm gonna piss off a lot of Viberg enthusiasts, collectors, diehard fans. I just know I'm gonna make you guys angry. I'm sorry, but that's the honest truth, that they are a great boot, but not at that price point. That is the only reason. Okay, so, but if you're still wanting to get a pair, or if you find a pair for a great price, this particular model here is supposed to be treated, if you're wondering about treating the leather on this, this should be treated like a suede. This is a rough out leather. Technically it's a nubuck, it's very smooth, but it's also still rough. There's no finish on it. Treat it like a suede. Your number one priorities are for these, obviously, besides the basic, you know, boot or shoe trees and, you know, extra set of laces, is going to be your waterproofer. I recommend the Tarrago Nano. I'll leave the links in the description for that at least, and a small suede kit that has the brush and a suede eraser. Those are going to be your two most important things to take care of the uppers. If you want to take it a step up, there's going to be additional stuff that you'll want, like a suede cleaning kit that has like the cleaning solution in there. You're going to really want to make sure to keep an eye out for that. And then for conditioning purposes, the Saphir Suede Renovateur spray, I'll leave the link in the description as well. That will kind of recondition it. That's something you'll use only once a year on it. It doesn't need to be used too often, but the cleaning and the waterproofing are going to be your two most important things. The dry clean, at least. That suede eraser will help take care of like little spots here and there. The brush will kind of, you know, help clean off the debris and dust on it, and the waterproofer is going to really help with that preventing of staining. So that's the resole on these Vibergs, and that's kind of my opinion on them. That, you know, they're a great boot, they're phenomenal, they're better than some boots out there that I've seen, but for the price point, there are boots and shoes out there that are definitely a step up significantly. I mean, they're using leather in all the right places except for the ones that you can't see, like that cork and the filler inside. That was a huge minus on that, in my opinion. They've got the leather footbed, leather insole, nice leather liner. Everything is great all around them. It's just that price, and it's this guy here. The two main things, and price is a huge factor, as most of you may know. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I know I made a few Viberg fans very angry with this, but that's what I think about it. That price is killing me. That price and this guy are the two things that are just killing me. I mean, for $700+ come on, it does not add much more price. Switch over to cork or leather, do something about that. You guys gotta work on that if you're watching this and you're from Viberg. And just that small little refining, that little bit, take care of that, and then you guys are gonna be a $700+ pair of boots for sure. But otherwise, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification bell. We just hit 10,000 subscribers, so I'm getting together a giveaway, so make sure you have that notification bell hit. So we're going to do a little bit of a giveaway since we finally reached the 10,000 mark. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up button and share with those guys that are really crazy about Viberg and saying, oh, so you gotta upgrade to Viberg. No, don't upgrade to Viberg. unless you get them at a good price. Then upgrade to that Viberg. But otherwise, we'll see you next time. And if you're wanting to check out that video for the Cash or Trash episode, I'll post it in the next day or two after the recraft video is done, and that one will give the whole like rating. That one you can probably share a little more easily because it's under 10 minutes long, where the recraft videos are long and have all the details. So we'll see you in the Cash or Trash episode, and we'll see you on the next recraft video. Did forget to mention one other thing. I am going to start categorizing the Cash or Trash episodes as well, because obviously if I'm going to be giving these technically a trash, again, for those of you who are big fans, I am going to give them a trash rating in the Cash or Trash episode. I'm going to be categorizing things in different categories because I can't give luxury brands the same rating as I do a heritage brand as well. So just a full heads up for those of you, again, that are watching till the end. I'm glad you stayed to get this notification. We're going to be categorizing things in the Cash or Trash episode. I'll make sure to notify that and do a separate video as well to let everybody know. But it's time to give this thing a rating and get that Cash or Trash video recorded. We'll see you back.